Yo, what's going on, guys? Ankit here. Welcome back to my channel. And the time has come when we showcase the rank 4 SIG 199 Bishop, because I don't have a +1 generic zones. So he's gonna be on 199 for a while. But it's not a huge difference, and it's not a big deal even. So he's my 5th rank 4. I guess you guys know my first one was Kingpin. Then it was Hype, Doom, and Mysterio, or maybe, Mysterio was my 4th one. I can take 2 more champions to rank 4, but I'm gonna wait for the next featured. I really want Omega Sentinel, and then either Scorpion, Hulkling, or Vong in that order. So first up, I want to show you guys the difference between using suicides versus not. I do think you need suicides if you focus on damage. Without them, his damage is good, but it's not impressive. So you can see I already finished the fight down there, and I could have finished the fight at about the same, or maybe 10 or 15 seconds slower or later, without running the recoil tree, but I just wanted to see if he could finish off Cap Marvel with that SP2 on its own. But the whole video is going to be with this team. There's going to be Storm P90X and Mangog. I think he needs one of the synergies. I prefer Mangog more, because he gets much more potency on his regeneration, and his prowess effects also gain a lot more potency. So if you're running the recoil tree, the difference of not using any of those synergies is noticeable, but not huge. But if you are not running the recoil tree, then I would suggest absolutely run the Mangog synergy at least, because then the difference is going to be quite significant. And it's just gonna be like, if you don't run recoil masteries, it kind of is a fair trade-off. Alright, so up here I'm showing you guys how Bishop works with the mutant power boost. If you didn't notice it already, he is the worst mutant champion to use mutant power boost with, because if you want to finish the fight with an SP2, you will finish the fight with an SP2, but the boosts are just gonna push you to SP3, and that sucks, because let's say the best power threshold that you want him to be is between 1 and 2 bars, or between 1 and 3 bars. So that's not 1 bar, it's above 1 bar and just below 3 bars. That's where you want him to finish a fight off with at. And that's where you get either utility or extra damage depending on what you need. And I'm going to showcase all of that at a later point in this video. But first we're going up with the damage, and that was a beautiful 80k crit over there. Amazing. Now here I have roided him up all the way. Professor X is at 4 charges. Bishop is a horseman. And we're going to see how well he does over here, because I'm sure there are people who are wondering, or who want to see how much can he do with max boosts or max ramp. Of course, I'm not running any boosts, but it doesn't really matter because it just adds a bit more attack. That was freaking insane. 120. It's so crazy. I don't understand why people think that he doesn't have damage. Even you're gonna see in this video, even when he doesn't crit. Okay, I'm gonna get back to that in a second, but watch this. Saw that? 4 hits. We're just gonna let it be. We're just gonna leave it as it is, and there you go. That is freaking fun, man. I don't care what you think. But I was just saying that even if none of his hits crit on SP2, which happens almost half of the time, you're still gonna do like 90 to 100k damage, and if you do 100k, you're still gonna do 70k as incinerates. But if you ended the previous fight with 2 bars of power, that's another 70k. So even if you do 100k on as raw damage, you're gonna do 140k in incinerates, or even if you do 80k, come on, what is that? That's still almost 200k SP2. What more do you want from this guy? Come on, man. I just don't understand why people think his damage is low. I will agree that he does need the recoil tree or the Mangog synergy to actually dish out that much. But anyways, this is a paradox node on 7.3.6. It's safeguard, but the paradox node gives you additional debuff potency. So you can see those incinerates, they're ticking like 1.3k, and you can easily have 3 up always, which is pretty awesome. Again, that same node, you're gonna see the incinerates tick a bit more. I'm trying to intercept just so I don't take that big burst of damage. I'm gonna die over here because I suck, I guess. Tell me in the chat or in the comments below. But oh, actually I wanted to try out the SP3 first and then go for the SP1 incinerates to see how much difference it makes. So we were doing like 1.3k when there were 10 paradox in the previous fight. Let's see how much we do here. Ooh, 1.8k. That is like 35 to 40% increase. It's pretty awesome. You can of course have that in energy vulnerability permanent. I do use that from time to time. It's always better to use that. Oh, you see, we died over there. But anyways, I just wanted to show you the potency. But yeah, I do use that SP3 energy vulnerability permanently at times. But it's better if you finish the previous fight at SP2 and you have the Storm synergy, so you start off at SP3. That's the best way. Okay, this is another paradox lane, but for every charge you get 25 or 30% extra special attack damage. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So yeah, he just gets flattened over there, and here I'm trying to throw a heavy attack so I can get rid and not take that big burst of damage. Of course, Bishop is a great counter to an Asian Venom. If he shrugs off that parry, he's just gonna get passively stunned. So let's see how much this next SP2 does. Got some good Furies. That's from Counter-Strike. Oops. I guess something happened to the recording over there. But trust me, I'm pretty sure that ended the fight because I'm starting off with 2 bars of power over here. And that Wasp is down. Not even 20 seconds. That was pretty cool, man. That was pretty cool. He has damage for days. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care if he can't crit. He still has the damage. It doesn't matter. Okay, here we're going up against Power Shield. This is the one where if you have a buff, you're going to trigger Spite. But it's okay. He's dead right over there. There's Power Shield again. So you see I ended the last fight with SP3, which means that I'm going to start off with a steady release. It's okay. I rather have the SP1 or SP2. Those are the two best things to have when you start a fight. If he's on defense, when he starts the fight with less than a bar of power, his specials will go unblockable at 10 prowess. But if he starts at 1 bar, you know, if you die and you revive, if he starts at 1 bar, he's gonna get a lot of ability accuracy reduction, which is gonna be quite annoying. So I wouldn't want to face that Bishop. I really want to finish him at in one go. Otherwise, he's just gonna get a bit more difficult. All right, so this guy, he's a bit tanky, but you know, second SP2, easily down. And I'm gonna show you a few clippings from Axe 6.4 Power Shield. It's all just one SP2 and KO. Amazing. What's this? Oh, okay. So in Act 7.1 and of course in Act 6.4 or also 7.1, I don't remember. So this is the Act 7 Special Connoisseur path. And here of course you have the added benefit of using a mutant attacker, and if you place a debuff you have a 20% chance to gain a prowess, which increases by every other debuff. So naturally it's only my video if I eat an SP3, so I risk it. No crits, which sucks, but I'm chunky. I'll be able to tank this SP3. It's not a big problem. So yeah, I tried to push myself to SP2, but that doesn't happen, which sucks. So again, the same path, but She-Hulk actually messes up with you a bit, because in her SIG ability it states that she has a percentage chance to reduce mutant champion's ability accuracy when they throw a special attack. And I think you're gonna notice it over here because I don't trigger my energy vulnerability, I think. Let's see. Yeah, so I didn't trigger that energy vulnerability. I just triggered my incinerate. That is the benefit from SP2, or finishing the previous fight with SP2. So again, a great option for a special connoisseur. I think that was 6.4, the Thor Ragnarok quest, where you had to throw SP2, or you need to have prowess to deal damage on that one path. I mean, of course, there are a lot of different options, but he is another option. Okay, up next is my favorite path in the entire game for Bishop. This is Blaze, which is 500%, or what is that, 600? I forgot, I didn't even read. And Power Shield, so it totals up to more than 1,000% attack on your special attacks. Which is crazy because Bishop already gets 10% per prowess. So anytime you throw a special, you're gaining between 350 to 400% attack boost on his own without any synergies. So now what I want to do is I want to play a game with you guys. I'm going to ask you to list your top 10 favorite mutant champions and describe them in a word. Let's say APOC, Disorient, Kitty, Phase. And let's see if I finish this path before you finish listing all the 10 champions. This guy's ridiculous. He's insane for this path. 3-second fights. Now here Joe Fixit got a bit passive at the start, but 3-second fights. But maybe some of you are wondering, alright, I'm sure you enjoyed that amazing 60-second SP2 clip, because who doesn't like that? Now we're going to move on to the second part of this video, and this is going to be his utility section, which is quite a lot more than you guys can imagine. So first up, we're going to be focusing on his energy resistance. We're going to see what all things he can counter and what all nodes / fights he can do. We start off with the magic. I'm just practicing against my 565 magic. Of course, I'm not running any recoil tree, just so that damage isn't that amplified. But you can see a regular champion without I mean, Doom is pretty tanky, but you know, not in the energy department. He is dead, but Bishop is still going, and he remains in this fight more than twice the length that he can, which is quite awesome, because while he's being dealt energy damage, he is constantly gaining his prowess. I think he's gaining his prowess too, but he's also reducing the amount of energy damage he's taking, which is pretty insane. His energy resistance is about 4,000, which is, you know, quite frankly, pretty awesome. Now we're going up against 6.3.6 EMP modification, Toxicant node. And let me tell you, he's a pretty good option for EMP modification. I remember, or I still know, that people pop on the Odin pre-fight on that EMP mod node in Alliance War. Of course, I'm not saying that Bishop will be a great option over there, because it depends on who you're fighting against, but you know, look at that damage. He's not taking any significant damage from EMP modification. You're going to notice that a bit more over here, because I tried to trigger more buffs. So first we're going to force him into his non-evade mode. There you go. And I think I start triggering buffs over here. I should be proccing my regen somewhere at this point, or maybe I'm just going for a special too. I don't remember. Okay, yeah, there we go. Let's see how much damage that does. Literally nothing. My health isn't even draining. In fact, if I proc that regen, it's like almost the same as I'm losing. Pretty awesome. I don't know what you guys think about this, but that is pretty awesome. Being able to tank that much energy damage, it also means he's going to be better in a lot of different scenarios. But one of those scenarios is this 7.2 path, where you are inflicted with shock and cold snaps upon contact. So he's just going to keep on regenning. There's no way, even if you don't bring a energy resistance or high energy resistance champion, your health is not gonna drain. I mean, you'll see it go down a bit, but it's not gonna drain rapidly. But in the case of Bishop, you're almost never gonna be less than 100% unless you use that special and take the recoil damage. But the negative aspect of this matchup is that you can't really keep your prowess up. You can see that at most I have 5 or 6 prowess when I throw my SP2, and that really hinders his damage quite a bit. I don't remember, or let me see. Let's keep an eye out for how much SP2 he does with only 5 or 6 prowess, which is like way less than ideal. So once again, the same fight or the same path. And let's keep an eye out on how much SP2 he does. But as you can see, whenever he's taking that damage, he is constantly dealing like 730 ticks. Like, he needs prowess to do that. But while, okay, let's take a look. 2.5k, there were like 3 12ks, so 36. So let's say 40k SP2, which sucks, I know. But the other source of damage is those passive ticks that he's dealing, like 730 per tick every 2 seconds for a couple of seconds, more or less, give or take. But yeah, pretty good option over here. And high energy resistance also means that he can fight a lot of Mystic champions that usually do only energy attacks, and he can also deal with a lot of champions who have abilities that do energy damage while you're near them, such as Terax. And here we're gonna look at this Electro from Moon Knight variant. It's a perfect matchup. There is stun immunity. There is a node whenever you make contact, he is gonna place that energy degen on you. So look at my prowess. I think I almost hit 70 at one point, and boom, fucking awesome. That's no power shield. Let me remind you, that's no power shield. That SP2, just on its own, was around almost 300k. So if you factor in, of course, Electro didn't have that much HP, but if you factor in the plus 140%, that would have been a 720k SP2. Bonkers, man. That's freaking insane. Alright, so I want to show two different things over here. This is the path in the Cap Marvel boss in 6.4 or 6.3. You need its distract, which Bishop can deal with. As you can see, it also has Cold Snap, which Bishop can deal with also, which is actually helping him get rid of all the chip damage. And it also has Bubble Shield. Now I want you to remember Bubble Shield, because that's gonna come into play in the next clip. But here you can see, like, we're just regenning everything. It doesn't matter. I got bled over there. I could have just held my block and removed that bleed. It would have been as simple as that. But now you're gonna see I start this fight with 1 bar of power. That means on block I'm gonna reduce the ability accuracy by 80%. Notice what I told you in the last clip. This is Bubble Shield. That's the first Bubble Shield proc on Bishop's block. Wow, I didn't mean that to rhyme. I'm sorry. So I have blocked at least 7 or 8 hits, probably even 10 now, and I've only got that Bubble Shield once. And Bishop is not only shutting down the node, he is also shutting down Sentinel's abilities. So at times, he's also shutting down his ability to gain analysis charges. And a little bit further down the clip, you're going to see that when he throws his SP2 into my block, I'm going to block it, and he'll be at 100% charges, but he's not going to inflict Incinerate. Which is pretty awesome utility. I don't know about you guys, that is pretty awesome. And there are so many applications. Look at that. We got hit by the shock. It doesn't matter, you know. Bishop is pretty much Bishop is pretty, what do you say, has pretty high energy resistance, so that thing doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna skip to the end of this fight to see how many hits we dealt. 124, and I was blocking quite a lot. I forgot to check how many Bubble Shield charges we had. I think we had 7 or 8. But yeah, pretty awesome, man. And if you can reduce the ability accuracy when holding block, you know what else you can do? Bypass Disorient or Hard Knock Life. Because this node has Hard Knock Life. Whenever you block an attack, or whenever you do a well-timed block, you're gonna gain a Disorient. But look at that, we've blocked like 5-6 times now and no Disorient yet. We're gonna get a Disorient. I mean, again, this is not a foolproof ability. 80% doesn't mean 100% naturally, but it's gonna work for a vast majority of the times. It is more potent than the ability Magneto has, where he shuts down opponents' ability accuracy by 70%. This is far more potent than that. This is 80%. Okay, it's SIG 199, so it's 79%, whatever. That is pretty awesome. I don't know about you guys, but the only issue is that it's only on block, which sucks, but at times it's also good because it's better than what Magneto has. And of course, I'm not comparing this only to Magneto, but I'm just comparing it to Magneto because they have that similar range of ability accuracy reduction. So here I try to hold my block and hope that his unblockable would fail, but you know, you need to have your block open, so he throws that special attack, which is probably why I was like a bit late, and he threw that special too before I entered my block mode. Yeah. So Disorient isn't the only thing that's a problem. Kinetic Transference, or that's something that Bishop can deal with. Kinetic Transference is another node that Bishop can deal with if you're holding block. Look at that. We're gonna see. So that was 1-1, 1-2, 2-2. See, 2-3. Let's see. Come on. 2-4, 2-5. 2-6, 2-7. 3-7. Let's see. Come on. Come on. 3-8. So like you can see that 80% figure actually works, but it's also bugged at some times or at some points the way it works. However, that 80% ability accuracy reduction while holding block is pretty awesome, and he's also stun immune. So if you are on encroaching stun, if you are on there's a champion who inflicts you with a debuff or that has a timer. Am I thinking of somebody else? I don't know. It inflicts you with a debuff, and if you have there's a timer where if you don't use your special or you aren't stun immune, you're gonna be stunned. So great option. Of course, kinetic transference, and this also means it extends to Masochism. I unfortunately triggered Masochism at the start, and I will trigger it again over here like an idiot, even though I have to show that he is a good Masochism counter. Let's see here. Block, no Masochism, no Masochism. Come on. That's 2-0, 3-0. Another one. 4-0. Awesome. 5-0. Hey, that's pretty cool. So I had to throw that special over there because I'm going to showcase that once again, the Masochism thing. Of course, this also extends to Conflictor, but Bishop has a way to deal with Masochism and Conflictor in a way that you don't need to worry about missing your parries. Of course, if you just throw your SP1, you're going to incinerate the opponent, which means it's going to trigger Masochism, and that also means that your parries are going to stick. But as you can see over here, you know, he's bypassing Masochism pretty easily. Amazing. That's like, I'm not saying that you're going to bring him for Masochism, you're going to bring him for kinetic transference, but he has those utilities. Like, there can be champions or there can be defenders or paths or nodes where these nodes are active, and there's a defender that's annoying with that Bishop can deal with fairly easily, like, I don't know, Korg or Agent Venom, or I don't know, think of whatever with a lot of energy damage or some shit like that. It's pretty cool, man. I don't know about you guys, but that's pretty cool. Okay, this node is Be Like Water. Be Like Water means every time you inflict a non-damaging debuff, the opponent goes unblockable. But there is no unblockable so far. That's the third parry. There you go. That's the fourth one where they triggered unblockable. Yeah, like I said, it's not a foolproof thing, but I'm also parrying more often than you need to, just to showcase how effective that is. But yeah, that's another node that Bishop can deal with. He is pretty amazing at. And this video is already almost 30 minutes long, and we still have like 5-6 minutes left. But yeah, guys, I put a lot of effort into this. I really enjoy Bishop. I think people just underrate him quite a lot. They just think he's a defender and that's it. He's much more than that. He just needs SIGs and some investment, but I just wanted to show you guys how cool of a champion he is. Here we are going up against Stun Reflect. So he has 2 ways to deal with Stun, or 3 ways to deal with Stun Reflect. We start off at SP1. You saw I parried 4 times. There was no stun. Am I going to parry again? Oh, okay, sorry, yeah. So the other way to deal with Stun Reflect is SP1, where he inflicts the opponent with a Incinerate, and that shuts down the node. But watch over here. Parry, 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 and immune. So over there, what happened was that the first 3 times that we parried, it shut down the Stun Reflect node, and the 4th time when we tried to parry, the Stun Reflect node activated, but because we are immune to stun when we're holding our block, it didn't matter. We just bypassed the node. So he has 3 ways to bypass stun reflect. Of course, you need to finish the previous fight with an SP1, but you can just throw that SP1 at the start. You shut off the stun reflect node when you place an incinerate, and then the next fight after that you have 3 different safety nets or 3 different ways to shut down that node. Pretty awesome in my opinion. Alright, up next we are on selective time stream, because incinerate means that the opponent isn't gonna isn't gonna regen. There you go. I don't know why I lost my train of thought. So I think he's gonna regen over here because he went for that cheeky dash back. No big deal. He's incinerated, which means we're gonna get 200% extra damage since it's incinerate vulnerability. This is the quest in the Kang boss, so the old Kang boss, 7.3 Kang. It's pretty opposite to what is that? The Paradox Safeguard node, and yeah, he counters this node pretty easily. I just want to finish this. Do I want to finish this on SP1 or maybe SP2? I don't remember. I think I finished it on SP2. Yeah, there you go. Should do it. And then we have this Mojo, which I lost my connection to. So he's at max health. We're gonna start taking him down very soon. And there we go. Couple of crits. Pretty good incinerate damage. And of course we take down, but the idea is to show his extra damage on the incinerate vulnerability node. Okay, this one is also on the Kang quest, but this is the 7.4 Kang, and I'm just gonna quickly show his ability to bypass the unstoppable on this node. This node is persistent pressure, which means you need at least 10 or 11 prowess, so every 10-12 seconds, whenever that unstoppable timer goes off, he goes unstoppable, and the duration of that unstoppable is reduced by half a second or something for every prowess you have. So at 10 or 12 prowess, you just don't let them go unstoppable. The node also has, the path has a node where if you parry, you get a fury, or you get I don't know, something like that, which converts the precision or combines the precision and fury, so you get a prowess. Bishop is a pretty good counter over there. Now, coming to the end of the video, finally, I'm going to showcase a few specific matchups where Bishop shines quite fairly. I think this is the fight I was talking about. So I started the fight with the bar of power. It's not really hard to get clipped. It's not hard to dex Yellow Jackets SP1, but sometimes everyone gets clipped because if they're too close or if they get caught off guard, then they have a problem. If they throw a special attack, they take a burst of power sting damage. If they let the power stings expire, they're stunned. So either way, you're taking damage. But Bishop bypasses that by just holding his block. This is pretty good utility. Alright, so this is a pretty interesting one. Cav EQ has a node where his pierce buffs are amplified. But I want you to see how many times he actually gets a pierce buff whenever he's attacking my block. Now watch. Boom. No unblockable. He was supposed to get an unblockable. If you're looking at his passive unblockable timer, he just needed to land 2 hits into the block, which he landed, but he didn't get that unblockable, which is pretty cool. Of course, you're not going to do this in reality, or maybe if you're going to do this, it's probably going to be in a stun immune fight where his pierce buffs are not that potent or not amplified by a local node or something. Okay, I'm going to show you War Machine. This is an interesting fight. So War Machine is bugged over here. His ability states that whenever he inflicts the opponent with a suppression, he removes 1 prowess. So for each suppression, he's only going to remove 1 prowess, but he's removing all of them over here, which is a bug. But each hit has a very high chance, or maybe 100% chance, I don't remember, but a very high chance to inflict suppression on block. Look at that. That time, no suppression. None at all. And most of the time, he's only going to inflict us with 1 or 2 suppressions. Which means that we're shutting down 4 of his suppression debuffs. Pretty cool. So if you're facing a bishop on defense with your Doom, I don't know why you would use, or maybe with Tigra, and he's holding block, provided that he starts with 1 bar of power, you dash back, throw your SB2 with Tigra, you're not going to go unblockable. Or there's a good chance you're not going to go unblockable. That is pretty neat stuff. Okay, I want to show over here. So ideally, so I started out at 1 bar of power, and this works for Korg as well. Now that you really don't want Korg to be stunned, it also works for Agent Venom. Basically what we're doing is we're either shutting him down from reflecting that stun, or we're just shutting out his ability to stun us at all. Pretty neat, man. That's pretty neat ability. So yeah, guys, we are at the end of this video. It has been like 36 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys love this champion, and hit that sub button. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.